Wanted to come on to talk about dog attacks, dog fighting, with the respect of when you're walking down the road and you're least expecting it and somebody's dog launches towards yours and attacks it. It's a very controversial subject, and it's one that is being talked about a lot at the moment. Rather concerningly, in full lockdown as well, full national lockdown, where there seems to be a bit of a rise in it, it kind of makes you wonder why people are actually getting close to other people. Hello, darling. So close to other people when they're not supposed to be near another person. You're supposed to be social distancing at the moment. So the problem's going to get even worse when eventually we come out of lockdown and we come out of the social distancing scenario we're in. It's something that's been growing, I think, over the years anyway, the problem of dog attacks, especially with dogs off lead in parks. I'm always kind of banging on about this. Well, keep your dog on a lead, keep your dog on a lead. And I know a lot of people really love to have their dogs off lead, but there's a time and a place for that. And there is a type of dog that can go off lead and a type of dog that's just not suitable for it. And we all need to be responsible for our dog's behaviour. And I know sometimes dogs don't come back from recall, but there's a little bit of a difference between a dog having a little bit of a Barney with another dog and aggressive dogs that are being owned by people that just can't control them. And there seems to be an influx of people who have got these dogs that they can't control. You might see someone who is quite a mature person, not that young anymore, clearly can barely walk themselves, and then they've got a huge dog on the end of their lead, something like an Akita, a German Shepherd, a Chow Chow. You know, you could say, oh, you're talking about big dogs, little dogs can do damage too, and that's true. But you need to be able to control your dog. I always say to people, if you can't lift your dog and restrain your dog and hold your dog, really, should you be owning that dog? I don't always agree with people having big dogs without a license. These dogs are killing machines. I know all dogs can potentially be killing machines, but the chances are, if you have, I don't know, an angry Yorkshire Terrier on a lead, or you have an angry Akita on the end of a lead, and I'm just picking on those two breeds just randomly. You know, I could mention lots and lots of breeds, so it's not going to get into, I'm not like an anti-Akita person or a pro-Yorkie person or anything like that. I've just literally plucked two breeds out of thin air, and the difference between the two size dogs. You know, if an Akita or German Shepherd wants to attack you or your dog, it will go in for the kill. It won't just warn, it will go in for the kill. Often go in for the throat and the face, whether it's you or your dog, because that's what they do, that's their instinct. Now, that's all well and good where you could say, well, you know, it's not about the dog, it's about the owner. That's the whole purpose of this thing. Unless you're a really experienced owner and a professional dog trainer, should you be walking around with out of control dogs? Recently, I saw somebody mention that there's a well-known woman in a certain park. I have no idea who this is. And this could be a hypothetical situation anywhere that people can relate to, where she herself is not in control of a Chow Chow that she has. And this Chow Chow is known for launching forward and attacking dogs. And unfortunately, it's done it recently where it has killed a small dog. The dog didn't survive the bites where the Chow Chow launched forward and attacked the dog. And dog attacks happen, they're so quick. When a dog goes, it's a very fast, quick thing. If you've got a big dog, or a small dog for that matter, it's not a size specific thing. Obviously, the bigger the dog, the faster the dog, and the more powerful of jaw of dog, the more damage it can do. You know, you could be talking about pit bulls, things like that. I know there's always a grey area with pit bulls. In this country, it's not about breed specific here. I am mentioning breeds because kind of have to talk about this topic. Could be Jack Russell, you know, they can be quite feisty, but I know all dogs can. I just don't want to get into this breed specific thing. At the end of the day, it needs talking about, it needs saying. If you have a dog and that dog is launching forward, it's not fair on everybody else. That dog needs to be able to be by your side. You need to be in control of that dog. People that walk around with these really aggressive dogs on extendy leads, 20 foot in front of them, or they're not able to walk down the road without being pulled themselves and running along the road with their out of control dog, where their dog launches forward and the person goes with them. If those people can't stand there and use their arm to hold that dog in control by the side of their leg, tight by the side of their leg, then really you shouldn't be walking near that person with your dog, because you're a threat. The person who's walking around with the out of control dog, they're not going to change their ways. So I think it leaves the rest of us to just be vigilant and try to keep our eye out for the people who have these out of control dogs. I'd really be interested to hear about your experiences, and if you've had your dog attacked and what the scenario was, what the outcome was. The problem you've got with dog attacks, dog on dog, is that the police don't really get involved. It's not really a problem for them unless a human gets bit, and then it becomes a police matter. So a dog can kill your dog, and it's tough really. You might be able to privately prosecute someone, but the police aren't really going to do anything about that. You actually need to physically get damaged yourself, or another human does, in order for anybody to intervene about a dangerous dog. There's lots of irresponsible breeders and rescue centres. I say rescue centre with that word loosely. Good rescue centres are very good at what they do. They don't let their dogs go without thorough checks. But bad rescue centres or glorified puppy farms, they just let their dogs go to anyone, and they're letting out of control dogs. People will breed, things like American bulldogs. I mean, some of them dogs weigh 11 stone. I've been in vets before where somebody's brought this big dog in, a woman, and she said to the vet, who's a female, "Oh, can you help me? Can you carry the dog to the car for me? I've got a bad back, I can't carry my dog." And I thought, if you can't carry your own dog when your dog's in trouble, should you be owning that dog? I think you should be able to physically lift, restrain, and get hold of your dog in order to be a responsible dog owner. I don't think it's anyone else's problem to have to control your dog. And it actually makes it quite unpleasant when you go to parks and when you go to dog shows and venues where you see these out of control dogs. It's really unpleasant for everybody. And I really don't know the answer. I see it coming, and I just avoid the situation and don't go near those people. And I'm very vigilant about dogs off lead and dogs approaching. There's that whole thing where a dog off lead shouldn't be approaching a dog on lead. And there is that mentality where the dog on lead is kind of with you as a pack member, and a dominant dog coming over to you off lead is being quite cocky and threatening. That could cause your dog on your lead to turn on that dog. And in that scenario in the animal world, quite rightly so, because your dog's just protecting its pack and its space, and that dog off lead should not be in your space. It's not fair. Perhaps that dog's owned by the type of person that doesn't respect your personal space when you're in a supermarket and all of a sudden a head appears up some part of your body where they're snatching the yogurt in front of you because they won't wait. There's just, you can't change these people. They are who they are. But please just try and be vigilant about people with their out of control dogs out there. It's not fair on everybody else, but don't think that your dog is going to get out of that situation okay. Don't mean to kind of worry you or think, oh, walk down the road panicking, to a certain extent, not trying to put fear in everybody. But things like this aren't often said, they're overlooked. Nobody wants to kind of say the things that need to be said and highlight the situations that need to be highlighted. And don't really know the answer to this problem apart from just trying to raise awareness, make everybody second think about walking past somebody with another dog, have a think about how your dog's going to react to that situation, have a think about what the other person is doing with their dog. Is their dog even on their radar or not, or are they kind of not even looking at their dog and not in control of their dog? And if so, it's really you that needs to cross the road. I know that's not fair, but it's you the one who's going to need to keep the situation from turning into a very dangerous and devastating outcome. It just is what it is. It's just something we need to talk about. Do leave your comments and let me know if you've experienced anything like this, anything horrific. Obviously I've heard lots of stories in the past of, you know, it's a horrible thing. I've managed to keep out of those situations, and it does restrict you on what you can do and how you can relax and where you can go. I know not everybody feels that's fair, and it's not fair really, but it's what I do to protect my dogs. I don't put my dogs in the environments where the danger is there. So let's just be vigilant and look out for each other and stay safe and keep your dogs safe.